Good afternoon. We will now call the Oklahoma City Waters Utilities Trust meeting for August the 27th to order. First item, minutes from the August 13th meeting. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, we will now vote.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You already voted.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Okay.
On cut, but they just
Yeah.
say aye.
Yeah, as Councilman Stone Cipher said, we're a little bit more sophisticated here.
That's obvious.
I didn't mean that to anyone out there watching. Okay, item number 3 is the consent docket. Okay, thank you. Are there any individual considerations? Okay, we will vote, and it's approved unanimously. There are no concurrent docket items. There's no items for individual consideration. So are there any items from trustees?
No.
Okay. Well, Chris, we will now turn this over to you for the general manager report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chairman. We have a really cool presentation. Christina's here to show you the transformation of Draper Lake with all of our new soil and erosion improvements that we've made around the lake. So, Christina, you're up.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me this afternoon. A little bit about this project. I hope you can see that this is a before photo of before we started our project out at Lake Stanley Draper. And the purpose of this was to be a watershed protection project. So now, as you can see, this is some drone footage from August 22nd, and you can see the growth. You can see the lack of a little bit less red clay out there, and it just looks more attractive. So a little bit about the background. We were contacted in Water Conservation and Utilities to respond to an erosion problem, and this erosion we found was caused by a lack of vegetation, compacted and exposed soils, and steep slopes, increasing sediment runoff into the lake. So this erosion increased all this sediment runoff into the lake, leading to what we believe would be long-term water quality and treatment issues. I'm not sure if you know this, but Lake Stanley Draper was formally deemed impaired by a 2015 OWRB report on lake quality. So us improving that lake quality is very important. So the process, up here you can see a photo, a before photo from July 6, 2018, when we went out and Water Conservation on the scene and took a bunch of photos of the current erosion problem. And the photo at the bottom is August 16th, so just a couple of weeks ago we went out and we took photos of the beautiful process that's going on. So we were able to amend the soil by applying compost. We reestablished vegetation to reduce that runoff of the sediment into the lake. We installed native and adaptive drought-tolerant plants, trees, and grasses, and we also expanded the mulching under established trees and the beds around the Lake Stanley Draper Marina headquarters. You'll even see in further photos strategically placed grasses that have been used as filter strips to catch that sediment and that runoff into the lake. The results of this process and this project have resulted in updated roads, sidewalks, and the parking lots at the marina headquarters. And we have improved access to the lake, meaning because we've paved those roads, those sidewalks, then that means the people that come out to the lake for recreation or fishing or to even do those business types of things that they would do at the marina headquarters, there are purposeful places for them to walk, to sit in parking benches, they're now ADA accessible so they can use wheelchairs or walkers, and it's very comfortable and shaded and beautiful, and it has just improved the quality of life, improved the quality and clarity of the water, and like I said, it's improved the accessibility into those recreation areas. So here are a few before and after photos. The next few slides are just going to be slides of photos, where the top 3 photos are going to be before we started work on the Draper Marina headquarters. So we did not only the external outside of the building, as you can see, we've cleaned up some of the trees. We've installed updated appliances and air conditioning units, but we've installed new signage, new railing, and handicap accessible entrances into the building. We can also see in the bottom right, from my direction, that the mulching and the beds have been updated as well to really withhold kind of, mulching is so important for keeping soil health and retaining some of that water that runs off the building. So it's a really great way for us to retain that vegetation around the building. The second slide here of Draper Marina headquarters shows outdated restrooms, the gut job that occurred on the inside, and then the bottom photos show us from last week how clean, accessible, wide open that place is now. They've even installed some high top tables so you can really enjoy that more eastern view of the lake through those full pane windows and that beautiful fireplace. So here are 3 more aerial photos taken from our drone last week. You can see that we've really opened up the parking lot, left it really intentional with access to the playground, the sidewalks that kind of meander very casually around the marina headquarters area all the way down to the wet docks. And there's also updates to those parking lots. But I really want to point out how beautiful the lake looks. Oftentimes, we've heard the jokes that Draper isn't the prettiest lake. So being able to say that it has the natural beauty and you can see the clouds reflecting in the water, I think shows a lot on how much just some basic sediment improvements have made into this lake. The following photos are going to be before and after photos of the outdoors. And I really love this top photo on the top left, where we're looking at those strategically placed plants, sidewalks, and a drainage project to catch that filtration and that sediment as it comes off that eastern slope below the headquarter building. So you're looking at 2 different angles, basically from the same position. So we're looking up from the wet docks up to the marina headquarters, and then down from the marina headquarters to the wet docks. So you can see our runoff in June of 2018 when we took these photos in that beautiful porta potty, that the sidewalk ended. It had no accessibility to the parking lot itself, and it was just causing all of that yucky red stuff was ending up in our lake, which is not good. Here are some few final photos. This is, on the right side, a picture of a windbreak, and this is a very popular fishing spot out at Lake Stanley Draper Marina headquarters. And what we did here is we installed geomat underneath the turf, and you can see that on the left, further left side, is a picture of kind of ruts, and people really dug into that ground as they walked and they fished in that area. So we've been able to reestablish the vegetation. That geomat is going to allow people to walk, and it's going to avoid compaction, so we're going to have less runoff going into that area. And then also just, it looks greener and nicer, and just ignore the temporary irrigation that's sitting there that's helping everything out. So again, I just want to reiterate how beautiful Lake Stanley Draper Marina headquarters is now. Because of the erosion project and the monies put towards this project, we've been able to really intensify and enhance the natural beauty of Lake Stanley Draper and make it more accessible for all of our visitors at the lake. And as someone who has lived in the city for 16 years, I had never visited Lake Stanley Draper before I worked for utilities, and I made my husband go back out this last weekend so we could really enjoy that spot under that tree and that natural breeze that comes off that inlet. So thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.
You may not know the answer to this, but yeah, very nice. You may not know the answer, but as far as trees and grasses, was there a predominant type of tree that was planted? Were there certain grasses, whether it be Bermuda, native?
Yeah, so that's a really great question, and we planted only a handful of trees. Really, we were able to save the existing canopy that existed, and we did that strategically because those trees are very well established and they're beautiful on their own, but we kind of cut back some of the ones that were dead and dying, and then we installed that mulch around the bed. So we did install all the turf grass that you will find out there is buffalo grass, so it only need to be maintained a couple of times a year as opposed to mowed twice a month or more. And you should go out, it's nice and fluffy, and you really just want to roll down the hillside, which I would not advise. That sounds dangerous, but if you would, it would be fluffy and soft and beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Christina, I think this is gorgeous, and
Thanks.
as a longtime Southsider, forever have gone out growing up at Stanley Draper. This is 1,000 times improvement as to what it was. I am curious on the sidewalks that are kind of you said meandering through the marina. Is there any kind of plans to really think about sidewalks to make it go around the lake, possibly like we have at Hefner?
Well, we have a brand-new trail going around the lake. It's almost finished. But we don't have any plans to actually put any walking trails right on the lake. We do have fishing piers located all around the lake and a couple of parks. We actually had quite a few makeshift roads around the lake at one point in time. We closed them down because it really caused a lot of erosion problems. Go back to the first slide, please. So if you look at this, you can see the old roads that went around the lake. And we really got a lot of erosion, so we're letting them reestablish to their native state. So we really don't want to have any trails right on the lake, but we do have strategic points, and we are doing quite a bit of brush clearing around the lake. We're raising the canopies up and clearing the brush out so that when you get to those points, you can actually see out into the lake again. So what we try to do is control the traffic to specific places at the lake so that we can put these amenities in and people can use the amenities without causing any damage to the lake. Sure.
Thank you. Thanks.
So one more thing I'd like to point out. First of all, you all have been approving a number of projects at the lake over the last year or so, and I wanted you to see how it turned out. Because we have all these projects we bring to you, and you never get to see, what's going on. So we really wanted you to see this, and it's a dramatic change. Secondly, the operational costs of treating the water at Draper now have been reduced significantly because of the color of the water. When we have stained water, we have to use more chemicals to clarify the water, to coagulate and cause the sediment to be released from the water, and then we have to handle that sediment and those chemicals. So we have reduced the chemicals and the amount of lime sludge produced at Draper, so it is a significant operational cost savings, not just, wow, the lake looks a lot better. I know Councilman Stone is happy to see the lake look a lot better. And
That first picture, what day was that?
it's January of this year.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, the transformation out there is, these pictures don't even do it justice, and they look great. But if you go out there personally, it's fantastic.
Right. The other thing that we did that's very important to the lake is we created a lake balance plan so that the lakes stay more full. When it rains and the lake is 5 or 6 feet down, well, you have all that water going across that dirt lake bed that further manifests erosion at the lake. So keeping them more full is in our best interest as well. Not only to make sure we have plenty of water during a drought period, but also it improves the water quality and creates a better recreational opportunity for folks at the lake as well. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know that we've tracked it. Well, maybe we do know.
Well, I don't have any hard numbers, but I can tell you when I went out there last week to take some after photos, it was on the kind of cloudy, rainy day. The parking lot was almost full. I couldn't find a parking spot. There were so many families, couples out with dogs, fishermen, fisherwomen, and I can tell you that as someone who visits our lakes frequently, just really like being outdoors. It really seems that people are really already navigating it. If you build it, they will come. They will find those trails. They will find those sidewalks. They will find those improved amenities. And those the visitors on that day on Friday seemed really excited to be out there. So.
There's one small piece that we should be finishing up paving. You can see it on this picture, just to the top of the slide from the headquarters building there. That piece should be done in the next week or so. So all of those roads and parking areas around that area will be in pretty good shape when we're through with that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chris. Chris, I would suggest, especially with Councilman Stone being here, that before too long, we'll need to have a presentation before the entire council to talk about the upgrades, as well as when do you expect the trail to be completed?
Councilman, that's kind of a moving target.
I see. Okay.
We have been coordinating that with MAPS for a couple of months now.
I see.
And I have mentioned it to Councilman Stone, and I'd be interested to hear from him. Does he want a grand opening down here at the marina, or should we do it in conjunction with or separately? So we're working on that right now as well.
Well, I'm sure you all will make a great decision with respect to that. Thank you.
I will tell you, I think David thinks the trail will be finished in October. I do think that last night's rain didn't help any construction project very much, but the last I'd heard was sometime in October.
Okay. Well, it does look very nice, so thank you for the report. And Chris, I guess you still have Part B?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. So it's kind of a short year so far, 1 month in. Both water and wastewater expenses are about what we anticipated, and revenues are about what we anticipated. So we've been selling about 140 to 150 million gallons a day of water. So it's a pretty normal year.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, at this time, we'll listen to any citizens who would like to speak. Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you.